I see this just as a continuation of what the Abrahamic, or more specifically the prophetic creeds, have been trying to do for last about 1700-1800 years. That is decimation of all those civilizations which do not agree to their monopolistic worldview. We can refer to the Judeo-biblical literature or the Islamic literature, which both of which state that their point of view is correct, and all those who do not subscribe to their point of view, their cosmology, their worldview, they are pagans, infidels, kafirs, and they need to be eliminated, decimated, or destroyed. And I see this conference just as an extension to all those crusades and jihads which have been going on around the world for last 1700-1800 years. See, as I previously said, that this is just an extension of what they have been trying to do in the garb of Christianity or missionary activities. If you look at the colonial literature, at that time also what they were doing was, when they introduced the census system in India, the census enumerator were given specific instructions that you're going to create castes, because prior to that there was no ironclad caste system in which there were compartments that, okay, this is one caste and it cannot migrate to the other. So that is what the colonialists did in our country. And then a more specific purpose was that look at all those people whom you can cleave away from Hinduism, whom you can just label away from Hinduism. And that is what they've been doing with tribals, animists. You can give various labels to them, but again, when you look at the reports which were being filed by various enumerators of those census, they were time and again saying that there is no demarcation between Hinduism and animism. There is no demarcation between Hinduism and tribalism. So what do we do? What should we do? And they did not have any solution to that. Right. What the modus operandi is normally is that start hitting at the elites or start hitting at those who can hit back. So since Brahmins were well versed in the literature of the Christianity also, they were able to talk back in English also, they had to be demonized. And once you can cleave them away from the majority of the masses, then it becomes very easy to convert them. Right. Now, see, during colonial periods also, what was happening? There were different groups, or at least we think of them as different groups. Like one were who were the administrators, second were the missionaries, and third were the Indologists. Now these three major groups, they had small points where they argued with each other, but they had a very large common ground with them. And what was that common ground? That India or Hinduism is a den of ignorance, inequality, and falsehood. It is full of discrimination between different castes. Now try to compare it with their own books. Look at the literature of Bible. Look at the Quranic injunctions. There can be nothing more blatantly discriminatory than what these books contain. What they do is they primarily divide the entire humanity into two sections which are at war with each other. And that war is also one-sided. One group has decided to impose the war on the others. That is what was happening during colonial period, and this is an extension. The only difference is at that time they were using the official apparatus to convert. They were using their guns, they were using their swords. Now they have started using applied psychology and academic hegemony to further the same agenda. They also that if India is in a state of ignorance, then Hinduism is to be blamed for it. And if it is Hinduism, then Brahmins are to be blamed for it. Right. And if we want that white man's burden, that if we want to save India, then Brahmins and Brahmanism has to be vanquished. Earlier, they tried to do physically. Now they're not trying to physically eliminate, they're trying to psychologically decimate or eliminate them. If you notice all these three sections, they were of the opinion that what they should be doing is they should be increasing the influence of Western imperialism, and by using their grip on academics, their grip on the education system, they should wipe out the concept of Hinduism, the concept of what they used to call pagans. They have to be wiped out. And in that light, if we notice, this conference makes perfect sense, because now, why is it so blatant? That is also a question that arises.
Yes.
What has happened is, in this last decade, the advent of internet, the proliferation of internet, I would say, and social media has given us a platform to talk back to them. Earlier, it was a one-way communication. They would pontificate and we had to listen. Even if we had a point to say, we just could not say because we didn't have any platform for that. Now, since we are talking back to them, so this edifice of falsehood that they so assiduously created has started tumbling down. It has started tumbling down. It is falling. So I see this conference as a sign of their frustration.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.